Thank you, Callioopes, for the tag. Says, at Hero, hey, it's happening again. Oh man, here we go again. We got a tweet from Tsuchinoko's Summer Heats that says, Japanese artist gets harassed by Americans to delete fan art. Latinos like it. Just the usual. This collects over 3,500 likes. So basically, this Japanese artist makes fan art of some characters from this movie, and the movie characters are Latino. And actual Latinos on Twitter are praising the Japanese artist for the work, saying that they love the work and things like that. But then Americans who are not Latino complain about the art, saying it's problematic, bad for X number of reasons, like, oh, the skin color is not done properly. And again, keep in mind, actual Latinos, they actually like this fan art, but these Americans harass this Japanese artist, and eventually the Japanese artist deletes the art. Now, here's the kicker. I took a look at this Japanese person's Twitter account, and they made 3 tweets in 2021. It would not be a stretch to say that this was the first time they used Twitter in 2 years, basically. Because, again, they only made 3 tweets last year. Basically, uses Twitter for the first time in 2 years, posts their fan art, and pretty much immediately gets bombarded with hate and deletes their fan art. I would not be surprised if they never use Twitter again after this, and some might say that's for the best. To be fair, there is some extra publicity you could get from posting on Twitter, and there's also the argument that even negative publicity is good publicity. But keep in mind, there was also lots of people enjoying this fan art, so it wasn't all bad. Still, is it worth it, and worth the extra strain on your mental health? I suppose that's something to be judged person to person. And let me also be very clear here. I'm not saying to delete the tweet, delete the art. Once it's out there, you shouldn't give in to the mob, in my opinion, and you should especially not apologize to the mob. The mob is just a bunch of disingenuous, faux activists and or Twitter police, essentially schoolyard bullies in 2022. That's what you got on Twitter. Except not really, because they're worse than schoolyard bullies. Hear me out on this one. Here's the big difference in my opinion. These Twitter police, they actually act like they're in the right. At least with the schoolyard bullies, they embraced being bullies. They didn't act like they were the good guys. These Twitter police will hate on people for the most disingenuous reasons. They're extremely disingenuous, fake people. They'll even talk over the actual people that they're trying to stand up for. And they'll hate on somebody and try to make that person hate themselves, hate their life, and delete all the wonderful things that they have created, and then get that person driven off the internet, or maybe do something in real life to themselves too, if they take it that far. And guess what? They act like they're the good guys while they do it. It's freaking disgusting. It's pathetic, beyond pathetic. Now here's the icing on the cake, and this part is so stupid that I'm hesitant to even talk about this because I'm going to lose some IQ points. It's going to happen. It's already happening just thinking about this. Okay, guys, you ready? So you notice that some of the tweets I showed you, and keep in mind, there was plenty more tweets that I did not show in this video, of Latin Americans defending this Japanese artist. They would tell the people complaining to shut up and call them gringo. And what was the response from these Twitter police? They began trying to say that gringo is a slur, and some even saying that it's a slur towards black people. And how dare these Latin Americans call them gringo, use this terrible slur. That's literally not what it is, though. It's a term for foreigner, although most of the time from what I've seen, referring to an American. And okay, look, I live in Los Angeles. I've been called gringo before, oftentimes in a joking manner from my own coworkers when I still worked at the restaurant. It does have a little bit of a mocking, condescending tone, oftentimes from what I've seen, literally used in real life. But it's not a slur. It's kind of like in Japanese being called a gaijin. Except again, maybe in some cases it's got a little bit more of a mocking tone, but that doesn't make it a slur. And certainly not a slur specifically for black people. And for the record, with the restaurant example I gave, it's not like my coworkers there were upset and using that word. No, it was like joking around with a friend or something. We all got along really well. I don't miss much about working at the restaurant, but I'll tell you, these Mexican coworkers I had were freaking awesome. You come in early at work sometimes and they would make family meal, which was like before the restaurant opened, they would cook these giant meals for the employees there early to enjoy. And technically the meals were for like the line cooks, the pantry, the prep and all that. But if you were a front of the house employee, like a server or something, and you got along with them, they would hook it up. And I was always cool with these guys, so I'll get part of that family meal. Always delicious stuff. Just in general, they got a great sense of humor, easy to get along with, work hard. But anyways, the point is, I can't believe these Twitter police are trying to be offended at being called gringo when they're being called out for talking over Latin Americans, and the Latin Americans are like, no, you're being a dumb gringo. Like, just stop it. Oh, now they try to say it's a slur. Of course, they try to like cancel the Latinos that they're trying to white tonight for and speaking over just because they got called out for being faux activists and just making terrible points and like harassing a Japanese artist. Oh, how dare you use a slur against us? You're in the wrong too now, guys. We hate you too. It's so absurd. I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this segment. I'll see you in the comments and also in the next segment on the way.